And hey, Abyssal. Hey, Tirgo. I need to change my device because you can't hear anything in game. Smile. There you go. Probably. I haven't done anything that. I haven't made progress. I need to make progress. But this is like my default like grind. If anything comes up in the middle of the stream, I'll probably do it, but for now it's the default. At least now your eyes don't get destroyed by the brightest light imaginable. No. I'll take rolling. But I was thinking of getting all dashes set up again and start running it on stream. So that's probably soon. But I would probably stream that on YouTube. But yeah, streams will probably be more involved in all dashes. I think that's probably what will be my my system. Is that if I'm grinding like this, I'll stream on Twitch. If I'm doing runs like all dashes to where I can talk to chat while doing them and have random people come in, then it'll be on YouTube. Thank you. It's very difficult in this one. Gotta go slow a million times. Nice to see you. I know I always stream at weird times for some people. My schedule is very random. What? Why did I lose connection to the game servers? What happened? I wish I could stream that little and make money. I think anyone would be at Clint Stevens. Clint Stevens. That can't be his name. He doesn't stream. I think anyone would want to do that, though. Bosco Stro. Sub 20 quite a view. I'm gonna put on some Zoomer music. Kind of in that mood. Find new strats in quite a view. Make quite a view fun again. Find new strats, but not that strat. There's a thing to where you don't take damage there, and sometimes you do. So I don't know whether the hold control or not. I don't know if you want to be called out, but thank you for following. Appreciate it. Birdman is extremely optimized now. I don't know what I would do to even lower anything. It would only be like the tiny things like how Nomad is now. At least to me. I looked for a better boost on Birdman for so long. There's like nothing there. The only one I could ever think of is the one on the vents, on like around the corner. But I don't know how you would get it over there. The vents on the back. But I don't know where you would even like bunny hop on. It would make this game much more easier, yeah, if scrolling worked. More accessible. If someone made a mod that removed like the spamming things makes it not work thing, I feel like that should be allowed in runs. Even though I have like an advantage since I'm decent at b-hopping now, I'd want to level the playing field so more crazy strats could be found. It would probably make this game ran a lot more. Yeah, but what's the point in having any skill if there's no one to challenge very much or to no one to show off to? More people in the game is always better. I feel making stuff accessible is better for everything in the long run. But that's the only thing I feel about that with. Like, I don't think anyone should use, like, trainers or anything, like, mid-run. Or, like, don't take damage mid-run. You can't say anything since you got the scenic route run. You're now a top-level runner. It's kinda. I don't even notice when I fail anymore. This stupid thing always doesn't let me get B-ups on it. I do hate that boost. Scenic is now one of my oldest PBs. It's like my second or third oldest. Yeah, UC is my oldest. It's because UC I hated that second boost, but now it doesn't use the second boost, so I have no excuse. But I still have that mental block of like, man, I have to do that. That's why I didn't attempt it for so long. But now I have to find a new route to do it all in one bunny hop chain. If there was a route like lined up for me, I'd probably go for it. Where you don't lose any speed. I'm just failing all the basic wall boosts. It wants me to slowly retry every single attempt. If this guy wasn't here, this run would be 10 times easier. Basically. In speedrunning time, playing a game for 2 to 3 years is like ancient. All the 15-year-old speedrunners. He's only like 35. Well, yeah, that's kind of... There's a point to where, like, to where all the new blood is also turning old on some games. Like the second wave is already old. And then there's a couple new people that come in and destroy them, even though they have years and years of practice. We just listen to this. A super old Wesley. When are you gonna sign up to your local country club? Gentlemen's club? That was a crazy route you took. If I saw that, like, when I first started running, I would be like, that's impossible. I always wanted to do runs of like alternative routes, because there's always like 2 routes to take on every dash, really. And over here, it's like to go around that way. I don't have roll unlocked. Getting a lot of yummy. I'm not complaining though. I swear this guy's stupid fat head. What? I don't understand what causes that. It's the weirdest way to fail a C boost. It's probably how it's supposed to act. But I want the boost. I'd love to see runs of all the dashes without anything unlocked. Especially ones that use mags and stuff. Did people find it in the beta? They had to have. They probably thought it was just such a... Like, the timing was so sucky that no one would really go for it. You'd have to do the door boost, wouldn't you? Above? That Wesley did? But the fastest way. Or go the intended, like, wire that you have to take. That would be a fun way to route it out, though. Either way, you could do that standing wire. It would be really slow, but it still exists. Can you get over there and do the dashes before you have that stuff unlocked? Or is they like locked so you can't even do it? You would have to like disable them after you've already unlocked them somehow with like a cheat engine. IMO. It's meat. I didn't realize it said meat. But did he have it unlocked? He was just not allowed to use it? Or did he not have it unlocked? Like, runs like this would be still fine because of the crazy boost. I wish you could... It sounds counterintuitive to the way it's like, hey, you can go anywhere and finish a time trial or dash any way you want. But if you could place physical barriers, like blocking this door completely in a time trial, and so they have to take this way or something like that. I feel like that'd lead to some cool things. But then you'd have people building Fortnite mansions in it. Yeah. You could probably also abuse it to like stand on it and get to places you're not supposed to be. Yeah. Put it on Wesley, he'll do it. There's such, like, this entire dash. The difficulty of it is so artificial. It's like we're putting chains on our legs. We have to do it this way. Like, it's so constrained for dumb reasons. Like, if these doors didn't have these tops, it would be so much easier. If this guy didn't exist, it would be so much easier. I feel like I'm doing a challenge run, but it's a regular run. Tanner. I love that it's a Mustang GT. I recently saw the Navy SEAL copy pasta and the style, or in the voice of the style and voice of the missile copy pasta, and it's one of the best things I've ever seen. Yeah, this is Mustang GT. He joined the military, and he owes way too much on it. He's upside down. It's that genre of car. That type. Yeah, that, but it's read out by the missile knows where it is because it knows where it isn't. That guy. It's fantastic. The missile copy pasta is perfection. This guy bunny hopping Mirror's Edge skull emoji. That one will be like a staple from now on. It's nice to contribute to the copy pasta creation. So true. It's because it literally is filled with 10-year-olds. The average YouTube Shorts viewer. And I don't know, like really don't understand the correlation between like 10-year-old Roblox players are also the same people that are like, man, you shouldn't cheat in the game. You should. You would think like the Zoomers would enjoy the speed running. I don't know what is in their minds about it. I did this in 14 seconds. Meanwhile, him bunny hopping and no damage hacks. That one just confused me when I first read it. I think all of them are just typed by the same guy. But I'd never delete comments in general. But I'd also never delete those because they're part of history now. Maybe it's like the rolling? Was there rolling in that video? I don't know what video that was commented on. The damage cancel does look kind of fishy, I will say. Don't worry, you just fall down and then jump and get back up. Maybe he just saw it in another video and decided he was so furious from the other videos that he had to type on that video. Like he was just boiling by that point. Look at my fans be amazed by my cheats. Also, did you fix that thing to where you were crashing in your runs? What could even cause that? AMD processor? I never know how to respond to those ones because they're like, it's like they're negging me. You know? Like I'm being negged online. It's whenever you or when you insult a girl to make her more like attracted to you because she's like lesser than you or something. I don't know. It makes no sense, but that's how it feels. Like Like, girl, you would be so hot, but you're kind of fat though. And somehow that's supposed to make them like you more because you're you're bringing them down to your level because you're fat also? Like you're made for me. You're not perfect. It's kind of basically self-deprecation at the same time. Okay, I will allow this one, but please don't say that. I need to undo that permitted term as well. I understand you went for the South Park joke, and it could have ended badly. That's the only one allowed. That's the first time I've seen Automod do anything. That's why I laughed so hard. I didn't even know I had that enabled. I think it's auto-enabled. I don't know if you can figure out how to undo the added permitted term. Is it /remove _ permitted term and then type it again? I don't know. I just wanted to allow that one message. I don't know if that's a good thing in this context. But I am gonna set up all dashes soon. Couch? What couch? I don't see a couch. The couch. You should know. The couch. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start running it again soon. Just in general. I can imagine just like being like talking to a realtor. They're just like, yeah, it comes with a couch, a table, sink, whatever it is, it comes with it. You don't have to worry. It's a lot easier now, Caleb's, because you have the control jump thing. Like before it was difficult getting a good like bunny hop. Or getting a good like setup for it, but now if you just control jump, it will make it a lot easier, but it's still not easy. What is that emote called? Anyways. Okay. It's part of Life Split. I had to steal it from Balan because apparently it doesn't work anymore. Just had to be contrarian. I don't know if I'm feeling Zoomer music anymore. Give me the EDM. Buster. Warrior of the Night's good. The thing I don't like about... Is that actually a comment on one of my videos? I've never seen that in my life. Really? You can tell people are like that are too dumb to look for the original or audio in the description of the video. It's there for a reason. And there's this cool new thing on YouTube, which I think that's a rare, like no one has ever said that sentence before, right? But you can have multiple audio tracks in a YouTube video. So you can have your main track, like usually it's used for translations. So one track would be like English and then another one would be like dubbed Spanish, you know? So people don't have to like read captions or whatever. But I want to use it to have the original track have music and then people can switch to the original audio without having to change videos. Like the original audio is like the equivalent of Spanish dubbed. You know? And I want that feature to actually become available to everyone because I've seen it a few times on like Linus Tech Tip videos and recently in a Styropyro video. And I was like, man, it would be so nice not have to upload separate videos and just take the original audio in Audacity and upload it. That'd be sick. Okay, that's all for my TED Talk. Because right now, the original audios don't really get used very much. But I feel like they'd get used more often if it was like that. Although I did have an issue to where the only option I could play was in Portuguese on one of the videos. But that's just because I don't use the official YouTube app. No, I was watching a video from someone else. I don't have access to those features yet. Only people like 10 million subs get it. You have to be in the culture. Like, let's just say Mr. Beast has it. It's really like, I think like every person who creates things goes through this, but it's really like weird. Not weird in a bad way, but like it's different to have someone say that they're a fan of you. Like I'm just a guy. Like I appreciate it, but it's like, wait a second. Who am I? What did I do? It's like infinite imposter syndrome. Fair enough. You're just a guy who's hopping in Mirror's Edge skull emoji. This guy hopping in Mirror's Edge. Pinned. How long did you pin that message for? I'm glad you enjoy it. 20 minutes. Fair enough. It's really weird having the hype music and just failing the trick over and over. It might make sense in all dashes, but here it's just like it reminds me of like car crashes synced to EDM. Or that one Crash Dummy video that has Evanescence in it. That's one of the best videos that exists. Why did I cancel what? If it doesn't give you a big enough boost, I reset it. You can tell on the speedometer, odometer. I think it's a speedometer because it's not a circle. If I need like 27.69, I think around there. If it's like 18, it's not near enough. Nice. Also, if I'm too left or right in the angle, or if I smack this guy's face, it's just impossible to get for me. So I reset. But I've also reset on good runs, so. Yeah, and I do it on muscle memory. So I don't know when I actually do something like that. Resetting is it's ingrained in my mind now. Also, I probably should be practicing this in the time trial, but I refuse. I don't remember what's the most I've ever gotten on a song on OS. All I know is I had like 3,000 something, I think. But this was years ago. Also, you have to hold W to get this perfect, like, hop. And when you do that, you just go over this half the time, and it sucks so bad. Because if you don't, you just land over there and you don't get it. Let me do a few time trial runs. If I had a consistent way of getting a B-hop right here, this run would be a million times easier. But I still have never found anything. I've tried going to the right as well, but nothing works. If you smack the door, it'll still count. It'll just give you a lower speed. I had a run that got pretty far with it, and then I had to do a slow climb. I like this. This is always here. It never leaves. Amazing. Emily's input is always wanted. Sleepy time. My sleep schedule is absolutely destroyed, so I'm gonna be up for a while. I don't know how long I'll stream though, but I'll be up. I woke up at like 5 p.m. Welcome. Kind of went into grinding mode. Although it happens a lot on Twitch streams. That's never happening. You have to be partnered. I'd have to have like, what is it? 75 concurrent viewers? The thing about affiliate is once you get affiliate, you cannot stream on other streaming platforms. So I'd have to actually get partner or I wouldn't do it. Like I'm pretty sure if I applied for affiliate after streaming a whole month, not every day, but like once every like 2-3 days, I would get it. Because you only need like what, 2-3 concurrent viewers? But I feel like it would just kill my channel because YouTube is where the views are. No one goes in the Mirror's Edge Catalyst category on Twitch. So unless something I got, for some reason I got partner. I don't know if the Mirror's Edge Catalyst category even has 50 viewers in a day. Let alone 50 concurrent. But I'd much rather go for YouTube partner if I did do any partner thing. And I'm pretty sure YouTube partner, they don't have exclusivity, do they? For streaming? Only if you're like a person that got poached or something. I'm like 2/3 the way there for subscribers and like half the way there for watch time. But if I just did a lot of streams one month, I'd probably, maybe 1 or 2 months, I'd probably make that watch time. Even with like, 3 to 10 viewers. I went up like 500 watch hours just with when I streamed a lot that 1 month on YouTube. But I'm not going to do that until I'm already at 1,000 subs. The one thing I do miss if I streamed on YouTube consistently is being able to play any song. YouTube doesn't have the separate audio track and stuff. Very sad. But yeah, if they gave channel points to everyone, I'd use them. You could be degenerate gamblers. I'll support your addiction. I would add more. It's just sometimes when you play a song, sometimes it'll completely destroy your YouTube channel, so I don't add more. I don't know. It probably gives people incentive to get affiliate. And I'm not even sure affiliates get channel points. I think it's only partners. I haven't looked it up in a while, though. Is not non-copyright. Yeah, we'll get you destroyed. On YouTube, at least. On Twitch, you're fine. Music doesn't save in VODs. So I couldn't listen to Imaginary Places on YouTube. And that'd make me sad. There's a thing called a second audio track on Twitch. You have to set it up, but basically your songs don't show up in VODs. So it makes VOD watching very boring, but you could add your own music, I guess. But I'd rather take that than having to deal with DMCA. But YouTube doesn't have it, so... And they're way better at actually live DMCAing than Twitch is. The thing about YouTube is if you do 30 songs that are DMCAable, like not even like, oh, we'll take your video down, but more like, you know, the revenue will go to us type thing. If you do 30 of those in a single stream, it'll just shut off your stream. So whenever I do that, I'd have like 3-hour VODs. The stuff on Twitch is just being cautious. I probably wouldn't even need to do a separate audio track. But I'd rather not have to deal with a DMCA strike. Yes, there is. You can get DMCA'd and it'll... If you get 3 strikes, they'll take your channel down. It's just not as common. But it's happened. There's someone that got banned for 2 years because they played a single Rihanna song recently. They just got unbanned. There was like a big DMCA scare like 2 years ago. Since then, it's kind of iffy. I was debating doing like a separate YouTube channel that records like everything. But I just felt it was too much. They're the ones that are nice about it then. It's always cool until it's not cool. And one creator decides to destroy your life. Like, I can't even play this song. This is one of my favorite songs. Monsters is a cool dude, though. On YouTube, at least, he would... I can't play this. On Twitch, I can, though. Amelia? Isn't that the one that does the weep music? Or am I thinking about someone else? Like, a lot of his stuff is on OS, isn't it? Yeah, that's... I say weeb music because all of it's weeb backgrounds. All of my music is music I've accumulated over years. None of these songs are like specially like curated and downloaded because they're DMCA free or anything though. I have a playlist that is DMCA free, but that's only because I've played them on YouTube before and they haven't striked me down. And so it's kind of like a trial and error thing. Because YouTube doesn't tell you. I'm so tired. Save me from this pain. I don't see it happening anytime soon. I haven't been grinding it hard enough. I need to like no life it and do like 6-8 hours a day. That is the only time. Oh no. It is not a fun dash with this new strat. I will say that. Maybe this was my new least favorite. I would say it was mid-tier before this strat. No, consumer is easy now. With the new strat on consumer, I get the thing all the time. I get the hop up every time. Not every time, I'm lying. Like 50% of the time if I'm like locked in. I think it has a bunch of cool other stuff. Especially now when you add the control jumps. I like the aesthetic of Caleb. But I do get tired of being stuck in this room. Even though it's so open design, it still makes me kind of claustrophobic. Yeah, and doing that C-boost is very, very fun. Which I probably will still do that in my next run. It'll probably be like a 13, 14. Like I won't get all the B-ops, I'll just get most of them and go here. Oh, I never learned that. I knew it existed, but I never learned it. Too old for me, traveler. It's this one, isn't it? To where you go here and then you bunny hop on that and go all the way. Wall boost here, here, bunny hop, and then barely reach over there, I think. But that's really difficult. Easiest iteration of this dash was the bunny hop till you get to the C-boost. It went from hard to pretty okay until hard again with this new strat. Not a bad run. There's a few strats that you could do to get sub 20 that would be not that difficult. I think I've gotten sub 20 on some of my old dashes. I'd have to look at what I did in those. I do feel like the developers of this game didn't put enough stuff that shows this game at its best. If there was something official by DICE that was kind of like all dashes, that would be amazing. That you could see the holograms through the entire time. Just have like 3 or 4 of those, of like 5-minute long runs with the holograms. "14 seconds. Did I upload a 16? I thought I've always had a 15.5 or something. I think I got a 16, but I didn't upload it. If you saw a 16, I think that was Falcon. With a 16.92. Falcon is slow. What was his most recent run? It was whenever I was doing feature creep, wasn't it? That's always nice to see. I feel like with the shorts really appealed to the Zoomer audience as well. It's nice to see people that would never have seen this game ever. Actually start playing it. And so that's why I keep on uploading them. They don't get very many views anymore. But it shows new people the game, which is always desirable. To get partner on YouTube, you have to have 10 million shorts views. I don't know what they were smoking. Like, if you're just uploading shorts, it's almost impossible to get partnered. I'm still getting those views, but the only reason that they're farming views like that is because if you search up Mirror's Edge Catalyst on your phone, or I think it shows up even on a computer, they're like the first shorts that come up. Yeah, millions of views in shorts turns into like $5. It's for exposure. Although I think they said they're going to change that soon. The revenue will be different. But I don't make money on any of my videos right now, so shorts are alright by me. Maybe if I actually made money, I would want to do regular videos more, but people are like, yeah, if you want to do shorts, you have to do specialized shorts content. I'm like, no, I will not. I'm re-uploading the stuff I've made before. YouTube is just crazy. Like, dumbest things get the most views. Like, there was this recent video. When Dying Light 2 came out, it was just a kid saying, when you're too poor to play Dying Light 2, and it was just him playing Catalyst for like 10 minutes. And it had like 40,000 views. And in the comments, he was like talking to how he's a Roblox YouTuber and that they should really subscribe to his channel. It's kind of demotivating when you're like best performing YouTube video of 2-3 years of Catalyst is like 10K. And then a video like that gets 40K. Yeah, maybe I'm just too much of a sucker to actually have original things and make things myself. Everyone just re-uploads things now. I'm boomer. Shut up, dude. I could upload that in short form. Do you think if you use this song in a YouTube short, it would go off? Because the Zoomers haven't heard any of these songs? Yeah, 400 views. I found it funny, not funny, but there's this YouTuber that I'm subscribed to named Leolide, and he does like really like good edits of like songs to like AMVs that he makes himself, and it takes a lot of effort because he streams him making them, and he gets the same amount of live viewers that I do, and he has like 70k subs. And so I always feel a little bad because he has so much more talent than I do. And he gets like 3 to 10 live viewers. Yeah. Just get a YouTuber to react to your video. Or a streamer, I mean. See, why does that one work, but all the other ones didn't? Whenever it wasn't real. I will say that I'm a sucker for certain React videos. But most of them I just find grating. Like if I've already watched a video, I'd rewatch the same video, but I'm not going to react to something fresh with someone else. It's kind of like that feeling you get whenever you show your friend a video you really like, but then they kind of are disinterested. And you're just kind of like, man, I suck. Like, am I broken? Is my humor broken? I love that part of this song. It's so good. I've heard of BTMC. Although I've never been like a crazy OS watcher. The only extent I have is Toy Is My Boy. Yeah, I found that's the fastest way to skip the barrier. There's like, you can do this as well, and then you can roll. But I do this, and it usually works. Yeah, but that seems slower. And it doesn't work all the time. Let's see. This is consistent. This stupid plant as well. It's one of those things. Yeah, but that's slow also. It's still doing it. After I stopped playing, I stopped... I never really watched it in the first place. Didn't watch a lot of it. But it started killing my hands. You're walking too far forward before hugging the rail. What do you want me to do? You have to hold A? You have to hold A. I still find this better. It looks so easy and so fast. But also this just looks cooler. No, I was getting beginning stage carpal tunnel. I was having searing pain in my, like below my, like in my wrist. RSI and stuff like that. Hey, Abyssal. We have tons of cat emotes now. So many ways to express yourself. Nice to see you around. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty okay. You have him nicknamed as Plumber in Discord too? All I know is that it hurt my hand, so I stopped playing it. And now my hand doesn't hurt anymore. But I always played using S and D. I don't know if that contributes instead of Z and X like everyone else. Every single time I was watching a big streamer, there were always Z and X. I played a lot of Stepmania growing up. And that was also the time I was playing OS. And it's basically Stepmania is just OS, but 4 times more. I played in like 2016, so all the big streamers were using ZNX when I was watching. Ocean Man. That was a throw. It would have been PB. This wasn't really an uncommon name. There's a RuneScape streamer that goes by Faux, F-A-U-X. Yeah, just because of the name, he's number one. RuneScape is very... I don't know. I mean, I played it when I was a kid. Like in the 2007 Scape, whatever. Like, that era. I didn't do much. I was a kid. I was like 7. RuneScape does have quite the community. And I don't know if that's saying a good or bad thing. It has a community. Trains is hard. Trains is a hard job. This is a Lush Embrace by Mokhov. Mokhov. He sometimes goes by O Mokhov. I enjoy his stuff. He's one of the people that I would ask permission explicitly from if I was not lazy. Because his stuff does get me destroyed on YouTube. Probably his most famous song is Fly Away. That's probably my favorite song of his. This song. It is kind of background music, but I kind of enjoy that type of music. The only person I have explicit permission from is Ohio, and his stuff is all like music that is supposed to be rapped over. But I just like it without the rap. Yeah, I got not lazy and added them. So now you can find the emotes fast. You gotta be specific. Lowercase me. That was the emote, show me the booty. Do I have it added? Let me go to 7TV right now. 7TV. Emotes. Show me the booty. Is it not on 7TV? Wow, maybe it's on BTTV. Emotes. It doesn't show up on BTTV either. I've heard of Corpse, but I don't know who they are. I'm too old. How was it? He came out the grave just to release a song. I find the fetishizing of the deep voice kind of weird, considering isn't it like a thing he had? But I feel the same way about two anime, like high pitch. Like I can listen to it in short bursts, like songs. But if I was hearing that, if someone talked like that every day, I'd kind of get headaches. What, really high or really low? Ah, I see. I'm talking about the over the top, like watching a lot of anime. I'm 22 as well. Oh, this song is getting played over and over. Ooh, Dreamhead. But yeah, 22 is old now. You just gotta accept it. The internet is now a teenager's playground. And I'm talking like the beginning of teenagers. I checked out long ago. Underground artist, C418. I've never actually listened to a stuff that's not Minecraft. I probably should. I like the genre and stuff. But this song got really popular because of the... Oh, really? It doesn't? I'm sure he's made a couple songs that didn't make it in Minecraft. Or maybe he doesn't make them for Minecraft, but they just put it in anyway. But this song was in like a bunch of Simpsons lo-fi, like in 2016. Probably still. And so it's forever ingrained in my mind as having the Simpsons, like doing like mundane stuff in it. I mean, being the exclusive Minecraft music maker wouldn't be a bad gig. But I do get, oh, he's not exclusive anymore. I do get, nostalgic for old Minecraft music a lot. When I first like got it on the 360, years ago and built so high and tried to jump on a cloud because it looked solid. Classic. Building houses completely out of glass and dirt. Nothing else. I've heard of Celeste, but I never ended up playing it. Sever the skyline. Although I've never heard of... Is it Lena Rain? Is that how you say it? I guess since I have Spotify open anyway. Look it off my boomer music for a second. This is only a mix by Maxo. It says Celeste on it though. Lena. This is the only thing that's close on Spotify, and I don't know if it's the same thing. I'd have to YouTube it otherwise. I just download my music now. Most of the time. If I have the time. I've always did it, but I had a spat where I didn't. And then songs started disappearing out of my playlists and I hated it. So I just continue listening to old music. I like this song though. Not bad. This is by Hurt Spotify though. Very upbeat. I have to look it up. First steps, okay. This one? See, that's on Spotify. But yeah, I mostly listen to music like lo-fi or like this like background game music on my own time. And then sprinkle in boomer music. Anything made before like 2000 is now boomer music. I don't even know who that is. I do have a Frank Sinatra song in my playlist. So that'll probably say something. I also have a song made in 1926. Chuck Berry. Chuck Spaceberry. These songs are good. I'm sure if I bought the playlist or just added all of the song stuff to my playlist, it would go well. That's what I did with one game. I forgot what it was called, but the composer was Daniel Olson? I forgot which game it was. But I enjoyed all the songs from it. Yeah, I think the one I listened to first was Inside. I enjoy that song very much. You'd hear it a lot if I was actually streaming on YouTube. Because that stuff I can play on YouTube without getting destroyed. Yeah, Sayonara Wild Hearts. That's it. I basically enjoyed all the songs from that. The only one I don't really listen to a lot is the medley. I'm just not into very much medleys like that. But yeah, if you heard more of my playlist, you understand why I say boomer music. Like my personal playlist. Get happy. Oh, this is replaying. Just traded on Mario Kart. It's funny how this song has happy in it and I just shuffle played. I need more music for my not get destroyed by YouTube playlist. And my added to main playlist in general. All my music is years and years old. But I really don't talk to people that recommend me music ever. My favorite remixes for retro games is Marcus D. His stuff is really good. His retro album, I enjoy that very much. Like that's all I would listen to like years ago. I knew that didn't go through the beginning thing, but I wanted to do it anyway. I'd be already doing all dashes if I got that 14-second run that I failed horribly before. That was tragic. Oh, come on. Give me the hop game. Did suddenly get daylight? What just happened? I've been in that room for so long. It's not that I don't get along with other people's music interests. It's like every single time someone has linked me a song, I've mostly been, yeah, I enjoy that. But the only thing I'm not like that with is like, it's like those artists that specifically like just say sexual things as like their niche. But I haven't found a genre that I don't enjoy. Maybe. Most likely if it describes things like that. Maybe. Like if we're talking mainstream stuff like Cardi B and stuff, I don't enjoy. Not that that's the only stuff she does, but songs like that and some of Nicki Minaj songs. That's the only stuff that I'm like, yeah, I probably would skip that immediately. But I feel like that's not really a controversial opinion. Most people are like, man, I hate country. That's one of the like non-controversial ones too. Although I enjoy country. Maybe not modern country, but older country. I think everyone has that like artist that they're like, man, this guy kind of sucks, but I like his stuff. Dolly Parton goes hard. I wish this artist made more songs. These songs are like one of my favorites in my playlist. Same thing with like fast chiptune I enjoy. And I haven't found good artists for it. Besides Task Music is really good. But yeah, all my music tastes are based in like 2016, 2017 music. Besides a few Zoomer songs that you'd hear an 8-year-old play on Roblox. Which I'd say is one of my guilty pleasures. What do you mean, enhance your music taste? All of my O songs are from 2016, 2017. Honestly, no. Metal is one of those things to where I can't get into like really hardcore metal, but regular metal I can get into. Isn't chaotic enough? I love that explanation. Isn't chaotic enough. I won't listen to it. This needs to overstimulate my senses or it's going in the trash. I'll let Around the World play for a bit, but it's a 7-minute song. Glory Days. I'll keep that in mind. I enjoy getting recommended music, but I only ever get recommended like there's like a specific genre I get recommended. Dragon Force is Dragon Force. Everyone knows Dragon Force. How could you not? It's cool to see that he was streaming on Twitch for a bit. I don't know if he still does. Maybe he still does. One of the band members. I'm not good with names, but I can imagine his face. Also, their older songs were like super like not friendly if you tried to use them on Herman Lee. If you tried to use them on YouTube and stuff. But the newer stuff, I think they have their own like stuff to where they don't DMCA people now, which is kind of cool, I think. Or at least it's not as heavy, like ham-fisted. Although I think he got DMCA'd on his own, from his own song. I remember that. I've only heard like the stuff that everyone has heard. And maybe even less than that. Like Through the Fire and Flames and I had like a Dragon Force playlist on Clone Hero that I used to play a lot. Okay, that's enough around the worlds. Oh, I thought that one was it. Some reason that felt right. I was gonna PB right then, and then I failed the hop. Trooper of the Stars. Oh, the countdown at the beginning. You better have sub 10 by the time I wake up. Is that a threat? Threaten me with a good time. Sleep well, Wesley. I will try not to disappoint you. But 99 times out of 100, probably more than that, you will be disappointed. It's really confusing to new viewers of my channel whenever they see Wesley and Tirga and Balan and Luke and just everyone copy pasta. Expose your B-hop script. Pressing F is a script. I bound it differently, so it's a script. It's auto hotkey script. Secret. I can't hold it this long. My conscience will catch up to me. I have to expose you at some point. When I rebounded to F, yeah. I'm super weird, and there's nothing I can really say besides that I played a lot of CS surfing. And I really like spamming my knife, so I bound that to space. And ever since I never used space to jump. Another reason, like, it's become ingrained in my brain that I do not use my thumbs to press space on a keyboard. I use my right pointer finger to press space, and I slam it down like it's a typewriter. So when I type, it's really loud. But I get like 100 to 110 words per minute like that. I'd get like 120 if I didn't. That's in every game. Scroll wheel up to jump is a classic. Scroll wheel down for down action, maybe not a classic. But that's how it was in the original Mirror's Edge, so I just did it the same here. That's what I used because you'd have to go through doors and you slide and scroll up to go through the elevators. And so I've had it like that. I'm glad that this game lets you have multiple keys for jumping. Or else I'd be very upset. Scroll hinders your ability to use your right mouse button. What do you mean? Scroll right click? Scroll right click? Scroll right click? Yeah, I'm lost with that. I scroll... If I'm pressing right click, I scroll with my left pointer finger, or my right pointer finger. So I can still do both at the same time. Yeah, he said he was going to bed. No, he must know. Oh, Electric Avenue. I use middle finger to scroll up and down unless I'm pressing right click. Then I use pointer finger. See, Wesley almost saw the PB. No. When you scroll down, your ring finger will crimp very slightly, and it takes a lot of mental control to prevent it. That emote. Oh yeah, I just adjust so I don't use that. I right click with middle finger. Always, no matter what. But also my finger also... my fingers are always crimped. I use a fingertip grip. I'm a weirdo. Oh yeah, I never played Overwatch. So maybe that's a reason. The only thing I b-hop and shoot in is Apex. Which I never found a problem there, but I couldn't tell you what I do. It's also just something that I do muscle memory and I don't remember. Like, I couldn't tell you how I play. I'd have to actually play and then look at what I do. Yeah. I don't know how Quake came up with bunny hopping. Like, the engine was perfect. How did they make something so fun? And why has everyone tried to keep it out of games since? I never understood it. Why are only modders the people that like bunny hopping? See, when I think of Camila, this is like the type of genre I think of. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Nanahira, apparently. Sleep well, Wesley. I will try not to disappoint you. World War? Crystalline? What do you expect me to say? I've never seen that in my life. It's not even a real word. Expected it to be mispronounced. I don't know how you would even say war? War? It's like seeing the word Q using Q-U-E-U-E. It's right, but it doesn't feel right. Q-U. Okay? Yeah, when someone says Q, that's how I think of. Like a cue ball. It's like few with a Q. Like P-H-E-W. I understand what you mean by like the random sounds in songs. Maybe not to the extent that you enjoy, but stuff like this that has a bunch of just random like samples from everywhere, I enjoy. Why do I only get close like one time in a stream? That bunny hops straight into the floor, man. Oof. I should have just diverted and went over here. Symphonic speed metal. I will never understand music genre names. Especially when they're like 3 words long. Or past 3 words. It gets out of hand. I probably enjoy how they sound, but it's always the worst when you're trying to tell someone what genre you like and they have to Google it. And then when they Google it, it doesn't give them good examples. You always feel like you're some hipster. And then you go on Reddit and someone's asked like a thing like, is this song this? And they're like, no, of course not. And then half the other people are like, yeah. High Tech. Isn't High Tech a company? Bluegrass, djent, hardstyle, speed bass funk. I've heard of hardstyle by itself, but hardstyle speed bass, is that missing a comma or is that actually another genre, like a subgenre? I'll play that song once the song is over. Slap bass and plays it with hardstyle. Every single time I see the word bass, I really want to say bass, and I know it's wrong, but some part of me always just wants to be like slap bass. The only subgenre I listened to a decent amount was chill hop. What is this song? Based. Based and bass build. This reminds me of Toho music. Like the remixes of like Bad Apple that go insanely hard. Or no, like how's that one song that you was her or something like that mixed with another one? I don't know. I have it on Stepmania. Songs like this were crazy on Stepmania. Ewan Owen, yes. No, it was like a combination of the two songs. Like it was a remix, like mixing two of Toho songs together. Like this right now, this like I don't know music, so I don't know what it's called. But what's happening right now reminds me of it. No, I'm talking about how they'd label things inside Guitar Hero when you practice them. Like bridge and stuff like that. I don't know music like that. Yeah. But I love how you understood what I was talking. How they label music in Guitar Hero. Ugh. That's the best way to explain it, though, that I could think of. I love when songs isolate like a certain thing and stop all the other stuff. Yeah. I've never really tried making music, so I don't know any of that stuff. Yeah, from the stuff that I've heard from them, I enjoy it. But I'm forever stuck in 2016 with my music playlist. Combination of genre. I feel like I could listen to this like over and over and like entire albums of it, but I feel when I take off the headphones, I'd have tinnitus. Even though I don't listen to music loudly. Or I'll just take off my headphones and I'll feel like I have an ear infection. Like silence would make me die. Yet. It's just inevitable. I don't listen to music very loud at all. So I have that going for me. If I lost hearing, it was when I was like 8 years old and I was in my family's like truck that had like big like extreme bass in the back, just in huge boxes. And you're just playing the loudest rap imaginable. I probably lost it then. So I could never notice. See, right now I just feel like just listening to silence kind of feels nice. I need like I feel like I just worked out. Give me some Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. Oh, massive speakers, yeah. I've listened with headphones my entire life, basically. And I've never owned a DAC or an amp, so 100 for me is 100, and I never try to go above it. Oh. This dash more than anything feels like RNG to me right now, and I don't know if that'll ever end. I think getting this distance sucks. feel like you'd never have a moment of silence. Yeah. Yeah, you make your own music whenever it's not playing. ADHD or the music family. Probably a combination of the two. Are you trying to log into my bank? I don't know, probably like a dark purple or a baby blue. I use... What is your mother's maiden name? What's the name of your first dog? Yeah. But people always say like, what's your favorite color? And a lot of the times my favorite colors are more color combinations. Like purple and white and red and white just go so well with like everything. Or a purple and red, like that 80s like synth stuff colors. What was your favorite food as a child? I've never seen that one before. I haven't answered enough security questions, I guess. When I was a kid, I had to ask like my parents like all of these questions to make them. And like is a security question really yours if you have to ask someone else the answer every time? You know? But the thing is all the other ones were like, who was your first wife's middle name or something? And I was like, I'm 12 years old. What do you want from me? So I always defaulted to first pet's name. I probably couldn't answer half of those security questions still. I'm glad that they've been phased out for the most part. You don't really see websites doing them very much. I know how to do my own security. Prepare. I have a song suggestion. The okay was just like a stands up. I have something to say. YouTube link. Click. What is this? The thumbnail. Oh, this is an Undertale song too. Or maybe a remix of one. So that's why I reminded you of it. Is this a remix to combine it with something else? It is, I think. I don't know the original, so I don't know where it comes from, but it seems to match pretty well. Music BPMs are magic, and I will never understand them. The thumbnail gives me bad feelings. It doesn't feel right. No, I was holding A. If this came up randomly in like one of my playlists, I would be confused for a second, but then I just keep on playing it. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Or if that says something about my playlist. Because all of my playlists don't really have a genre, they just kind of just flow into other genres. It's like, here's all the songs I don't hate. And the ones that I haven't deleted. No, I shuffle all day. I can't listen to things in order. I hate when I can tell that they screw up the shuffle and they try to make it songs that you enjoy more. I want true shuffle or shuffle. It already failed before it even started. There is no sub 10, it doesn't exist. See, this is what I'm talking about with the Simpsons. This song has a Simpsons picture and stuff on it. I forgot I had this downloaded. I think I stole this one from a YouTube video, and that's why it's called this. I think it probably has a different name. The artist is definitely not chill music, but I stole it from a YouTube video, so... I just accepted that runs will die. It doesn't faze me anymore. I've become a robot. The only time that I get real nervous is on really long runs. Like, by the end of, like, heading home. If I'm doing good, I'm like, oh my god. The runs are short enough to where they don't give me anxiety mid-run. It takes a while for your heart to start pumping. I think my longest ever not missing a note on a song, like my best is in an S, was like 1,070 or something. And I don't know how I got through it. You should try full game. Tickets anxiety is real? Oh no. It wasn't a difficult song. I think it was like 4.5 stars. Tickets isn't bad when you're running it like how I run it, but when you run it like how Balan runs it, I don't think it's very fun. And I didn't know that there's so much things you have to avoid to not crash your game. When literally, like, I did like 2-3 things wrong in a row to crash my game whenever he was leading me through it. That was a cursed stream. The lost stream. The only clinch moments I have on all dashes is Caleb and right after Scenic Route, really. Everything else is kind of smooth sailing. Well, I guess, what is it? Consumer is kind of sucky if I go for the strat. $1,864. I don't think I had a song with that many notes. Yeah, I think my map was 9 minutes or something, and it had 1,000 something. I had a stream where I played O's for a bit, but I was so rusty because I haven't played in like years. I still have it on my computer with all my songs because I refused to have to re-download all my songs and skins. So I just never deleted it. And it's kept with me for all my Windows installs. Like 3 or 4. But I died. That's a slap in the face. I like how Balan's trying to throw the burden of running full runs now that his game crashes. You can't trick me. I will not take over the reins. You're here forever. Don't you forget. I have not. I haven't checked on any full game stuff for a while. I will admit that I don't watch all of your full game runs. I just click them and like them. And I watch through sometimes. I don't know. That'd be a question for Balan. He's a speedrun.com moderator. It hasn't been done in a run yet. Just inbound. I think if I did run a category, I'd probably run New Game Plus just because it's the easiest to, like, not the easiest to run, but like you could just do anything at first, and it's like the most popular. If I did run anything, it would probably be New Game Plus. I forgot I turned up. There you go. Is black for like a full minute as you're running through stuff. That's when it kind of gets me. YouTube link. Is it already playing when I haven't even... What is this noise? It's already playing. I think it is. That's Meteor's gold split sound? Okay. I have no idea what's happening. But probably that's because I don't run. I can't tell what's new because I don't run full game runs. So I'm just kind of like, yeah, I understand this, I think. So I can't tell what's really new. Maybe all of it's new. This is the new bit, okay. Yeah, I think I know what this skips. This is some crazy out of bounds. Would you consider this out of bounds? I think so. Interesting. Something to think about if I ever actually run full game runs. FG? Oh. See, I don't even know what FG stands for. I ran full game in the original Mirror's Edge because it was 40 minutes long. For me, I was a bad runner. I would have to get like world record pace to have decent sized runs to where they don't take up all of my day. The same age, don't do this to me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has a way bigger audience. Where they can actually have another category with a poorly drawn faith with tons of categories in it. Category extensions. I think one of Balan's videos has gotten close to 100k. Or maybe he's gotten one over 100k. The most I've ever gotten on a regular YouTube video is 9.8k on Catalyst. $75k. Biggest Catalyst YouTube channel. Are you still farming views off that, Balan? Or has the momentum stopped on it? Oh, a sad day. That's what happened to my all dashes run. That was 2250. The one that they unverified. That ended up becoming my most viewed video with 9.8k. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I wish mine actually did that. Because, like, my shorts and stuff are all of, like, older runs. Besides the quite a few one. All the ones that gain views are, like, old. Because they appeared some people's searches. And they just continue to farm views, so I'm not complaining. But I kind of wish those views would go to my new stuff. I don't know if you even count short views as views. Seems YouTube doesn't. Considering you require 10 million to get monetized. I think my all dashes runs, most of them get over 1,000 at least. Yeah. I used to, like, change the titles to, like, big letters. New personal best in the description. New world record in the description. But it didn't do anything, and it just made me look pathetic, so I stopped doing that. Now I just let them live in ignorance. So I don't look pathetic. The last time I've seen Falcon actually go for runs was whenever I did my 2296 feature creep. Like, right before that. He was doing like 24, 23 second feature creep. And that was only like a stint for a little bit back. So it's been years. I never knew him personally, though. Not like intrapersonally or like actually like talk to him one-on-one, at least. The OGs. How did that not start the dash? Robbed. I don't think Falcon enjoyed what dashes became. And I wouldn't fault him for it. But seeing like seeing this, if I played at the beginning and I saw what I'm doing right now, I would be like, I hate you. all his runs are like, you know, you start and then you just run. But I do all these crazy like beginning setups and whatever. And I think their stance on it, or most of the original players' stance, is like the dash should start as soon as you spawn. Like there was a player that used to comment a lot of times on my YouTube. He was like a Polish player. He always had that weird cat in his avatar. I eventually filtered his comments, but I think he's like one of the only people I've ever filtered on YouTube. And I probably would unfilter him now. It's been years. But he slowly got more and more angry at my runs. He was like, nice run, and then I started adding more complicated stuff, and he's like, man, I miss what Catalyst used to be. That's my view on it. It's PogChamp. Or is that a kick W? It is kick W. Amazing. But seeing him slowly change from like good run to this is what I hate about Catalyst was very funny. Cause he'd comment on every new video and he slowly got more and more bitter over time. The future is now, old man. I honestly, I always think that this is probably my last run because nothing else can be improved. Like, I would have to dedicate way too much of my life. And then Wesley links me a new strat, and I'm like, yeah, I'll run that. So really, Wesley is probably what keeps most of us going. A few other people have done it. Balance had a few strats, and Tyria has this strat that inspired a few runs, but it's a lot of Wesley. If I was left to my own devices and I didn't have any way to communicate with Wesley, I probably wouldn't have half of my PBs. Probably more. I'm not good at, like, creating. I'm good at doing the same thing over and over without getting mad. Wesley did ruin our lives. How dare he? How is the Madge not enabled? Must open 7TV and enable Madge. Emotes. Madge. Use emote. There you go. Sometimes you miss the classics whenever you add a bunch of garbage. There you go. It doesn't show on the stream though. I'd have to reload it, I think. I can see it though. It's not what I wanted to do. If I just open and close Twitch chat, does that work? I think it does. Is it brownie time at what I assume Oh, it's only midnight. I thought it was later. I'd say every time is brownie time, though. I miss brownies. I haven't had one in years. But I'm not much as a sweets person. He's so angry. How dare you not have brownies? I don't know. I grew up never really eating very many sweets. The only sweets I really like are Reese's Cups and Milky Ways. I like really chocolatey stuff, but a lot of times I just get cookie cake for my birthday. Lately I haven't even gotten any cake for my birthday. Don't really celebrate it. I mean, what do you expect? Okay, I live in a house with 3 guys, all of which work from like 3 a.m. to like 6 p.m. I don't think we have much time to home make things. And I am not a chef. I probably should be, considering, but... Yeah, but whenever they cook, they're like, hey, you want a steak on the grill? I'm like, sure. Time to learn. I devote too much my time into this game. Which isn't a good excuse. Become the housewife. Takes less than 30 minutes to make cookies. I don't know. Everyone else is keto. So I'd just be sad alone eating cookies over the sink at 3 a.m. Eating over the sink like a rat. An entire pizza. He'd still have cookies, that's true. In life, as long as you have cookies, you'll be okay. But the only cake I had for years was Coca-Cola cake. That really thick chocolate cake. Yeah, what are you, my mom? Cooks cookies. One year I asked my mom to make me brownies for my birthday. That was like 5 years ago. That's their reaction whenever I try to get them leftover pizza. Donuts? I could see it. I like donuts, but really just glaze. My favorite thing is just donut holes of glaze. Apparently Timbits and donut holes are different, and I don't know why. I'm not Canadian, but I've been watching too much Northernlion, and he talked about Timbits, and then he also said he liked donut holes. So apparently they're different, and I don't know how. Maple whipped cream? The best donut shops are the Vietnamese ones. I know it's a brand, but I assume they did something different because he talked about them like they were different. Snack-sized donuts. How do you know this? Canadian. I guess there probably is some closer. I'm pretty sure there might be one near me, it's just I've never seen one in real life. Yeah, Tim Hortons. I've never seen a Tim Hortons in my life. All the donut shops here are owned by Vietnamese families. Yeah, I know it's a donut shop. Yeah, I have a Vietnamese friend, and he showed me a link to one of their pastries that they make a lot in Vietnam, and I was like, oh, that's why they're so good at making donuts. That makes sense. It's never the run. Eventually you learn to never get your hopes up. That's when you become dead inside. This run is the worst. Like, this is probably the most boring run to watch out of most runs. Or all of them, probably. Because I'm just stuck in this single spot. I have an iron will. I never get angry. I've never gotten angry in my life. Like, I don't smash my desk or anything. Every single time I would play stuff and I get stuck on something, I would just get sad, not mad. And eventually I grew out of that, and now I just feel nothing over time. This... You chose this fate, okay? You can't blame me. Although I would have been doing the same thing, but in silence instead. So I appreciate you being here. Streams on Twitch are usually less talkative. I usually just get on, stream for 2-3 hours, and say nothing. YouTube I talk more, there's more people there. Yeah, I should probably try to sleep even though my sleep schedule is screwed. I'll probably end the stream then. Just so it's not like me doing the same thing over and over and making no progress for hours. Yeah, I don't really advertise it too much because it's kind of like the space I go to where I won't see random people, and it's just people that like are in the Discord and stuff. So it's kind of like a more homely type. I don't get random people coming in, and I have to like figure out a way to show them that I'm not a terrible person every time. And answer the same questions from newer people. I'm not saying you did. Or you see a lot of people from Russia and stuff like that that join, and they're talking in Russian, and I'm like, I can't understand you, man. Yeah, I don't know why. I also have Ukrainian viewers. That's what Abyssal is. So he's my mod to moderate the Ukrainian/Russian side. Like if one of them just says something terrible, Abyssal's got it. That's why he's mod. I would have given him mod eventually, but that's why he was mod like immediately. I don't know why there's so many. Maybe they just get recommended it on YouTube a lot. But I think it's US, UK, and then Russia. And then like Australia and stuff. Australians and people from New Zealand make up way more of my audience than they probably should. But that's because my sleep schedule is always terrible. Like, they don't show up in analytics, but they're the people who talk in chat. Yeah, I'm from the US. Although I don't think that's hard to determine, considering my accent. How can you beat us? We are one. But yeah, in the future, I want to actually start running all dashes again. And I'm sure that's more entertaining. I feel this is more like watching paint dry. I feel like Hawaii wouldn't be a terrible place to live. But it would suck just being isolated to your own culture. And having to fly everywhere to see any other one. I enjoy it. But you can tell people get tired of it real fast. I've never met someone from Hawaii. I've met more people from Japan than Hawaii. I've met like 3-4 Japanese people, and I've never met someone from Hawaii. Even though we don't even speak the same languages, I still became friends with them. That sounds like you're seeking them out. If you're not Hawaiian, get off my friends list. Message to all friends, M2AF. Xbox 360 message. I'm clearing out my friends list of all non-Hawaiians. Send me a message if you don't want to be deleted. Yeah, I never understood it for so long. I was like, why did they keep on sending me M2AF? What does that mean? I've never gotten one of those. If you are a girl, send me a message. It's funny. Maybe they were just they were disguised as message to all friends, but it was really them just messing it straight to you. This will make them not think I'm creepy. Oh, that didn't set off the thing. Out in the stream at 3:30. It's 3:20:23 duration. Because if I do this for too long, I might... I don't know. I was gonna say something, but I didn't say something wrong. I would be very upset if I did this for a long time. I still have my original Xbox account with all my original friends. I switched Xbox to PC, and that's it. It's the anime influence. All my friends were PS3, and I had an Xbox. So I just made online friends as like a separate entity. And so that's how I've kept the rest of my life. I have online friends and real life friends, and they really don't mix. How did that go so poorly? Yeah, I don't own a console anymore. It's all PC. If I really think the concept of a game is interesting on PlayStation, I just watch a playthrough. Like, I have 3 or 4 people on YouTube that like play through every new big game, and I'll just pick the one that I think fits the game best. This was a hand-me-down from that brother. My crush when I was in high school, I figured out she had a boyfriend, and she was with someone that was like 5-6 years older than her. Oh yeah, it's not like I can drive you around at 15. I don't think I can compete. I mean, that's kind of a given, isn't it? Make fun of me? I'm trying here. Trying my best. This game is just pain. This stream is gonna make me set up all dashes and start streaming on YouTube again. But I'll still be grinding this probably. On Twitch. Ooh, Dark Cat. I need to just do this so much that this entire beginning is just muscle memory. And I get it like every time. That point is when I know that... When muscle memory kicks in is when I know that I... will get this run. My favorite song by Dark Cat is Hot Chocolate. Never heard Banana Street. I got recommended like 2 or 3 songs and they're all I listened to from Dark Cat. That's how it is for a lot of artists for me. Like I can tell I like the artist, but I never went through their entire catalog. I like songs with cute noises in them more than anything. Which is a really weird thing to say. But I like the random samples. Of like... What is the thing from Legend of Zelda? OT. Like the hey! That's a classic. My thing started. I didn't notice. What is this? Wait for Firefox to take its time to load. There you go. Whoa. This one started very quick. This is chaotic. You baited me. I've been baited. I thought I had that right now. I thought I was going to get that run. Hey, I lost faith. Always be doubter. If I had channel points, it would be 99.9% doubt. All the time. But man, would you be rich if you believe that one time. I enjoy this song. I know what you are. I know where you live. I've read you like a book. Yeah. I felt bad because one of the kids in my school, actually, the teacher was like, "Hey, he's kind of unpopular. Can you be more of his friend?" And that's the only time when I considered myself like, man, I regret saying that, because I told him whenever he made fun of me for a second, I told him that, and he got real upset. I basically he like pinched me and I threw a nuke on him. He did the equivalent of pinching me and I nuked him out of orbit. Oh, it's changing. Oh, there it goes. It's 3:32. I am probably going to end it. But I will be streaming probably more often, hopefully. The entire album flows into you. It flows into the next song. I'm sorry. I destroyed the flow. What do I want to end on? But yeah, I send out things every single time I stream on Discord. What do I want to listen to? This is how I am listening to music usually. I just skip through everything. I have all Discord things muted, so I stop joining servers. That's fair enough. That's the only time I at everyone is to say I'm streaming. I didn't do it Spring Rain. I like this song. The reason I created that Discord is so people didn't just seem like I was mysterious and streaming one time and then another time on a different platform. At least now they'll get notifications if they actually want them. But thanks for watching. I'm out. I'll let the song play through and then stream ends. Sleep well.